Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Jim Master rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainal. The title of the video is UN Conference on Palestinian State Postponed. Right, and I'll say, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, right? Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Again, So, pretty much just following up on this, again, the title is UN Conference on Palestinian State Postponed, right? And if you've been following along in the news, then you know exactly why it's postponed, because Israel did it again, right? They basically did something to prevent something, right? We're watching these things as they unfold because they lead up to the end of the world, right? Esau's going to come down with great wrath because he has but a short time, and the actions and the moves that he's doing is showing that. This is Ezekiel 3:17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. Right. And, the warning is going out, regarding what's going on. It says, When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, for his blood will I require at thine hand. It says, Yet if thou warn the wicked, he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Right. So that's exactly what, I'm doing, through the spirit is putting out the warning, because again, the title, UN Conference on Palestinian State postponed because of Middle East tensions. And that's because the devil, right, doesn't want to give up his seat in authority. He doesn't want to answer for his crown. This is Ezekiel 33 going back into the watching, because that's exactly what I'm doing. And I say that because I made a video about this, I don't know, a few weeks ago, whatever the case may be, a month ago, I'm not too sure, but I was saying that this a two-state solution would take place soon, regarding Israel and Palestine, right? And it's a big deal because pursuant to Bible prophecy, Israel is tied to World War III and the end of the world coming in, right? And what they're doing right now speaks to that prophecy, as in waging war on the nations around them, and even now Iran. So things are looking good, pursuant to prophecy. So that two-state solution conference has been postponed because Israel, went ahead and attacked. They attacked, and it caused this meeting to be canceled basically until another day. Ezekiel 33:1 says, Again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, When I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. So like every day again, it says, If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and take him not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. So, I brought this out because it's clear as day is what's happening here, right? They're not satisfied. And I'll grab that too. Just flowing in the spirit, I'll grab it. This Habakkuk 2 goes into Esau, and how he's not satisfied. This is Habakkuk 2, verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I reprove. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, that the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. The vision is talking about the prophecies. And as you can see, as the men of the Lord have been telling you and showing you, through the Spirit, the words are faithful and true, right? And the prophecies are here. It says, Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So Esau, is not upright. He's completely wicked. It says, Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. right? So that's the wicked. He cannot be satisfied. So the sword will come. Like I keep pointing out, this man delivered the sword to Iran, uh, possibly because of this meeting. It was going to come regardless, but what time, better, what basically was a perfect timing for these devils, right? It just seemed like perfect timing to strike Iran right when it was needing to go to a conference regarding the problem that they have right now, right over there in that land. It says in verse 4, Ezekiel 33:4, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. It says, but if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so I wanted to bring that part out, and I'll grab this a little bit. It says UN conference on Palestinian state postponed because of Middle East tensions. So it says a top level. So mind you, so this was June 13th, 2025, right? It is June, right? Um, for a press conference, right? It said, okay, top level UN conference on a two-state solution for Israel and the Palestinian scheduled for next week has been postponed amid surging tensions in the Middle East, French president said Friday, right? So France and Saudi Arabia were due to co-chair the conference hosted by the UN General Assembly in New York on June 17th through 20th. So that was supposed to take place in a few days. It says, and Macron had been among leaders scheduled to attend. The Palestinian Authority hoped the conference would revive the long defunct peace process, right? So they was basically expecting to get something out of this event that was coming up, this conference that was coming up, right? They wanted peace. The Palestinian people wanted peace because they're the ones getting destroyed. And basically, what I thought about when reading this, along with the point that I already brought out, was this the scripture right here. This is Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not." And basically, I thought about this because that's exactly what the devil is doing, right? The so-called white man is slaying the inhabitants of the earth, right, and basically holding himself not guilty, right, by not attending these meetings or finding ways to go around these meetings like they always do and always have done and will continue to do until they're destroyed. Because Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? And the ones that's ruling the world right now is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, right? He's the one that's bombing those Palestinians over there in that land, right? So he possesses the world, right? He has the fatness of the earth, right? He has embassies and everything, all over the place. And that's why people look to America like, well, what are you doing, America? What's happening? Why are you allowing Israel to bomb us? We're unarmed and hungry. So that's the one scripture I thought about when reading that. But the point is, and I'll grab this too. Obviously, this points to that. Revelations 12:12, it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. It says, woe to inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, the devil is come down into you having great wrath, because he know that he had but a short time. And this points to having a short time because you were scheduled to go to a meeting and you decided to attack Iran, right? And now this meeting is postponed, right? So you don't want to have these talks, right? You don't want the weak to say I am strong, because that's now is what's happening, right? People are bucking up and speaking against what America and their proxies are doing. They're not having it anymore. They're not happy. Even going back to Habakkuk 2, it says I get 5 again. Habakkuk 2 and 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and leadeth unto him all people. It says, shall not all these take a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that lateth himself with thick clay. Right, so that's the point. They're asking, how long? How long can this continue? How long can this go on? And now they're at the point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? NLT says, but soon their captors will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, what sorrow awaits you thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. You become rich by exploitation, but how much longer can this go on? Yeah, so America is at an end, right? The rulership of America, ruling the world is at an end, and all the nations know, right? But America is just kicking and screaming. And that goes along with Israel too, right? Israel and America are joined together. Even Benjamin Netanyahu, Jew, says that often now in these last days, right? As he's in war and needing help from America. It says Macron expressed his determination to recognize the state of Palestine at some point, despite the postponement. France has pushed for a broader movement toward recognizing a Palestinian state in parallel with a recognition of Israel and its right to defend itself. Right, yeah, they're completely confused, right? They don't know what the hell to say, you know, because really they're back in America, but they're going to eventually turn on America and Israel. They don't know what to do. It says after Israel, and that's because that's what Bible prophecy said it would do. Pursuant to Revelation 17, right? The 10 horns hating the whore, right? That's the EU and NATO hating Babylon the Great and also Israel, and then going to burn them with fire. So whatever they say now, ultimately they're going to in the future switch sides, right? It says after Israel strikes on Iran on Friday, Macron said that France's military forces around the Middle East are ready to help protect partners in the region, including Israel, but wouldn't take part in any attacks on Iran. See, so that's the confliction right there. They don't know what the hell to do. They don't want to attack Iran. They want to help Israel, but they can't help Israel attack the target that's attacking them, which is Iran. You see that? Yeah, they're at the end. The scriptures talk about being divided, right? They cannot stand. It's Matthew 12. It says, Macron told reporters that the two-state conference was postponed for logistical and security reasons, and because some Palestinians representatives couldn't come to the event. Yeah, it's really canceled because Israel attacked Iran, right? And started war there, right? You can't fly there. Iran is bombing the hell out of Israel right now, and even there's a war. I believe this actually could be taking place in New York, Slovakia. But obviously they're busy, with the war and all of that. So they said we are determined to resume the conference at the earliest possible date, the two ambassadors said. So just going into it, just follow up on this. I see something right here. Okay. It says Macron said the aim of the conference is a demilitarized Palestinian state, recognizing the existence and the security of Israel. Any such state would exclude any Hamas leaders, he said. Macron said this is the same as saying Iran can't have nuclear weapons, right? And they don't have it. Well, from what they've been saying, I don't know. They say they don't have nuclear weapons. Even Trump said they didn't have nuclear weapons. It says Macron said that the Israel-Iran conflict, the war in Gaza, and the situation for Palestinians around the region are all interlinked. Right? And I was like, yeah, you're damn right, because it all links to World War III. I'll grab that real quick and get some precepts on that. Revelations 11 to 14. It says the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly, right? And that's exactly what is going to take place, with this stuff here. Got a little bit of this. Joel 3 and 1, it says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, so the gathering of us, right, the exiles back together, and that's pursuant to Ezekiel 37, that's taking place now. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. So the same as, us getting this information of who we are, right? Understanding that we are Israelites and we're returning back to our Father Yahweh, right? And our Lord Yahweh Shai. So that's about prophecy. at the same time, the Most High will start to stir the nations up and gather them together in that Valley of Jehoshaphat over there in the Levant region, which is over there in the land of Israel, right, for that great war to take place. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them into the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Lord judgment, right, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. So because of what they did to the children of Israel, so what they did to us and them taking our lands, the Most High is now punishing them, right? And been punishing them. We have pestilence, famines, right? Them killing each other with sword and all of that. It says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink, right? Yeah, through slavery, they sold us, the Israelites. It says, yeah, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense for all the things that you have done? It says, and if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I recompense upon uh, and if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because you have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. It said, the children of also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their borders. Behold, I will raise them up out of the place where you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans and to a people far off, for the Lord Yahweh have spoken it, right? So, ultimately at the end of all of this, right, which we still have other prophecies to, take place, the MOTB and Jacob's trouble, but ultimately these nations go into servitude under the Israelites. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, so the weak say, I am strong. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither, cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Bashmiah Washai, right? Ultimately, what? The nukes will be sent off, right? And the nations and the heathens, will be destroyed. But America, is going to be the main target of those nuclear missiles, along with Israel, which will be destroyed completely. It says, let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. It says, put ye in a sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fast overflow, for their wickedness is great. It says, multitudes, multitudes, in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is near, in the valley of decision. It says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord Yahweh will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall you know that I am the Lord Yahweh, your power dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. Right? So ultimately, the great battle, and then the saving of the Israelites, right? And the setting up of our kingdom. So just wanted to go into that. Like I said, pretty much it was an update on my part. I did a video on this, steady watching this, and obviously it's postponed, because of the attack that's happening now with Israel and Iran. All right, so they're not going to figure this problem out regarding the two-state solution. They probably never will, to be honest, But I'll be looking for the next whatever, because as we see, and I was pointing to earlier, every time Israel, from what I've been seeing, every time Israel is scheduled to do something, something happens. Like they attack something, pages blow up in people's faces, something goes off. So anyway, just watching, but when you edify from the lesson, I'll say shalom to the elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.